Oh, yeah. Get a piece of that real quick.
Fits right into this very thing about our being intrigued by these
comic book haul.
The truth is they're not monsters, they're human beings.
50% off Labor Day sale. VII Comics and Oddities, of course. Got a bunch of comics today. I actually want to do a quick haul. They had buy 2 trade paperbacks, get 1 free over at VII Comics and Oddities. Anything $20 and under is 50% off. So I was just gonna get these trade paperbacks, you know, 3 stickers for $1 as well. Let's see what I got. Let's check it out. What's up?
For those inside the building, it's a harrowing experience. I remember this brilliant flash of light. The whole desk and the area around me just lit up. Great flash. And it was this tremendous noise. It was deafening. All of a sudden,
Free trash. Right there, Alex Ross, Fantastic Four. Some former Marvel and DC promo materials. I have to open that up later. Check that one out. Den of Geek. It's all free, right? These next 3, I guess what I paid for these next 2. And then got this one. They had a different publication of the first trade paperback. This is issues 1 through 5. And then there was another printing of Vertigo's 100 Bullets. And I'm a staunch believer that trade paperbacks will be just as collectible as comics, especially if the condition's well kept. So when you get something this white, it's hard not to have scuffs on it. Yeah, this is one of my favorite stories. Shout out to Big Elbow. What up, man? You owe me money for using the term I copyrighted. New Marvel. It's an unofficial term for this, what I considered a mini renaissance. It's an overlooked era, like 2000, 2004, give or take a year. Anyway, I emphasize Marvel because they included a lot of indie creators and out-of-box thinkers at the time, working with their IP. And 100 Bullets was going on at the same time, and this artwork from Eduardo Risso. The covers are by David Johnson. And it was consistent, so you were having David Johnson covers with Azzarello stories, Risso art. I mean, it would have been awesome if DMZ was able to maintain that. What was that? Brian Wood and Berticelli. Got their names bastardized right there. It's like a Minutemen, Hitmen. They keep these 13 families, the balance of power, in check. Kind of like Hitmen. Call themselves the Minutemen. Some of these guys, they need a keyword to wake them up, like a sleeper cell. Some of these Minutemen that were decommissioned without letting other people know. So this guy Graves, he ends up waking some of them up and using them as his personal army because he used to run the Minutemen. Yeah. Agent Graves. You know, Tom Hardy has a stake in this. At one point, at least, they were going to make it an HBO television series. David Zaslav, if you are listening, right here, 100 bullets. If you can base any of the imagery and the narrative off of these two gents, you got some money. Lady Killer, I can't wait to read this. You know, for so long I've been spending so much money on comics, and I'm always like, I'll get the trade, I'll get the trade. Joel Jones wrote this and did the art. I believe it's about this woman that is a assassin, taking place in the 60s.
Never ever underestimate a man who overestimates himself. He had about 23 million listeners. Well, that's every 10th American. So when he says something,
The New Avengers. This is fun. This is just bubblegum right here. Read this, pass it on. Secrets and Lies. Which one is this? Number 3? Alright, Bendis, Finch, Cho. Finch following up after... Was it Steve McNiven? Okay, so we got our first appearance of Ronan in this story. If you want to go that deep. Madam Hydra.
Republicans strike while their iron is hot.
And I know I bought those 2 Max comics, and they're part of my to-do list, but I just figured, fuck it. Maybe I could end up giving those away now that I just bought this trade. I bought like a couple direct edition copies. First 2 issues. A couple of hauls ago. So cool, this is, you know, it's got some stains on it. But it's beautiful, nonetheless. Plot by Sam Keith. Art, inks by Sam Keith. Script, story, cool plotted by Mesner Lobes. There is a fascinating documentary series from the channel JerkComic. Shout out to JerkComic. It's a brilliant channel. If you want to learn about comic book history, please hit them up. They did this amazing, this one person did this documentary series on Sam Keith. Please check it out. Okay, I got this one free, and then I paid for these next 2 because No Hero, Warren Ellis, Juan Jose Rip. Sorry for shaking the camera. Kind of like a, what if superheroes broke away from the government? I think they were created by the government, funded by the government, started holding people in power accountable. Haven't read this yet. I thought, cool, it's a hardcover, but then on the back, it says here, limited to 2,000. Now I'm like, fuck. But it's got those scratches right there. I want to read this. Look at this. It even crackles a little bit when you open it, almost as if it's never been opened. I think it's a bunch of like super soldiers created by the government that go rogue. Some of them break away, some of them don't. I think that guy in the white does. I don't know, I haven't read this yet. I've collected all like the variant covers for these. I think there's 3 different sets of short stories, 3 different sets of limited series, and one of them's called No Hero. I think it was like 8 issues for No Hero, and then there were 2 other ones. And they all were related with each other. Amazing artwork right here, right?
He said, I'm not pretty, but I always come back up. He emerges as a stronger president. He has to change the way he governs. The era of big government is over.
You can't go back to the era of fending for yourself.
Then Clinton rubs it in.
They were looking for someone that was a rescuer and someone who had been locked out of their office. They're the pros.
He uses the hero of the Obama bombing to cement his victory.
On behalf of Richard Dean and his family, I challenge all of you in this chamber. Never, ever shut the federal government down.
The first thing popping my mind is, a little bit of gamesmanship going on here.
Well, at least the government will never shut down again.
I think this came out around 2007, but I'm not sure. I have to double check that. So here we got 7 issues.
For this 1995 shutdown. Although his popularity soars, never underestimate Bill Clinton's preternatural ability.
Spoiler alert, basically, I'm just showing this whole story. Alright. Hello. It's a little graphic. Predator level. Gore. Just saw this great documentary about how Predator is this science fiction slasher movie. God, maybe this is like a superhero slasher story. Alright. Warren Ellis and Juan Jose Rep, the team behind the fan favorite. Right, okay, so Black Summer was probably just the limited series before this from Avatar Press. Are revolutionizing masked heroes yet again in this blockbuster epic. This huge collection features all 8 issues of the series and a beautiful cover gallery. Awesome. This one I'm not opening, but Brian K. Vaughan. This is almost like a post 9/11 type of book. When the United States invaded Baghdad, while people were stealing all these priceless relics that were defining moments in history, eras in history that you would need to prove those eras, essentially, these animals got inadvertently set free from all the shelling, looting, bombing. And what is this? 2003 then, I believe, out of Vertigo. And it's from the point of view of the animals. Brian K. Vaughan story. Nico Henrichon. Nico doing the art. I haven't checked if this is a first printing. I doubt it. From award-winning writer. Usually when they say that on the top, it's not a first printing. And I think there's an oversized edition of this. So if that's true and this is not a first printing, then that would be great. And I could lend this out to people. It's kind of nice embossed cover though. This hardcover edition. Gotta say.
And of all of the mafia bosses, none is bigger than the head of the Gambino family, John Gotti.
He was the media.
Mafia boss.
No.
No, absolutely not.
That's right.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely.
Without a doubt, you're saying this honestly. Cross your heart and go to die.
Absolutely.
Then all that changes. The next time, Gambino's headquarters. Gotti's right-hand man breaks the code of silence, triggering the downfall of the Gotti Empire
My father is the last of the Mohicans.
and the mob in cities across America.
And then the floodgates open. Made guys, captains, underbosses, conciliators, later on, bosses themselves. Flipped.
Beautiful artwork. Really amazing. And then I was about to just call it quits and came across these indie comics. Small box off to the side. It always helps to go check out a corner of the shop you're not familiar with. People rearrange things all the time, and that's what happened. I'm not really sure if these are first printings or what. I'll have to check them out later, but if anybody has any feedback, let me know.
This was like
These are all Robert Crumb comics. I opened this one up, and for the condition, I think this is the first printing. Hold on. Because this one, is this the one with the mad crazy artwork inside? Check it out. When I say mad crazy, I ain't lying.
We can deal with quality of life effectively, we can reduce fear, and we can change behavior. You need to pay attention to the little things, because if you don't, they can become big things.
And the results are almost immediate.
Talking about conversation, seeing crimes, we know. 50% stick rate. This is just a one-year blip. Well, as it turns out, it was the beginning of this ongoing 20-year reduction in violent crime.
All of this progress is having a sinister side effect. New York is becoming...
What can I find that will not be too graphic?
Sally was in New York before Giuliani fixed it. And friends is in New York.
All right.
They had a tremendous amount of feedback over the apartments and how big they were, and could these people really afford. And I would always say they're much cheaper because there's no fourth wall. So if your apartment didn't have a fourth wall and you lost all anonymity, it would be affordable.
Friends was based on reality.
Don't know how much of these I'm going to be able to open. Let me just go through these really quick. Half off. So that last comic was $10. I need to turn the AC on. I'm sitting here sweating and I almost just ruined that last comic I opened by like 1 centimeter.
Too small to be ignored with coffee shops.
Would anybody like more coffee?
$7.50.
Did you make it or are you just serving it? I'm just serving it. Yeah, I'll go.
So in the 90s, you're looking around and like, wow, they're getting coffee and they're sitting on
$7.
We saw a place like that and we were like, huh, that looks nice.
Zap number 3. Special. 69.
Plugging it out
Issue.
introduces a new kind of family onto our TV screens.
The conceit of the show was that your friends were your family, and in a lot of cases that was certainly true in the 90s.
I remember when I first came to this city, I was 14. My mom had just killed herself and my stepdad was back in prison. And I got here and I didn't know anybody.
They wanted to show that it was okay.
50 cents cover price. Got that for $4. Rip-off press. Motor City Comics number 2. I had issue 1. I do have issue 1 from a while back. I think that's from when I went to St. Mark's Comic Shop in NYC back in 2018. Huh. Number 1 by Robert Crumb.
Now, Chandler, dear, just because your father and I are getting a divorce doesn't mean we don't love you. It just means he would rather sleep with the houseboy than with me.
In the TV series, Chandler's dad is a transsexual. Played by Kathleen Turner.
What an unusual name. He must have had terribly fascinating parents.
Oh, here we go. Richard Corben.
There is one father figure of an
$10, $5. These are all probably what, fine condition. Some of these fine minus. Wow. Definitely adults only.
has 16 million listeners.
50 cents. Yellow Dog Comics issue number 2. Oh, volume 2, issue number 13. Wow. All right.
Views spawn books,
Yeah, I think
movie, and that's
these are definitely long-term value. I don't know, short-term, how long I'm going to be allowed to stay on YouTube, but...
some platform.
So that's what I'm saying, like Robert Crumb, what he was in the 50s and 60s with conservative extremism, he is today with liberal extremism. Word.
And there's crass,
No lie.
behavior, and people get a kick out of it. It's fun. It's crazy. It's
Truth.
I got a mind just like you. Dirty, funny, and clever.
Remember that tenuous line between politics and entertainment?
That's
it struck without warning. First, the infection was local, confined only to Miami Beach.
I remember being in a club looking down and saying, why is everybody country line dancing to a Spanish song?
Richard Corben. This is like one of his first published works. I don't know. I doubt it. Sure, it's his first published work.
Play the song, but they were an all-English station.
But first, the virus needs to be deliberately weaponized.
So they came to us and said, guys, can you do something with this song so we can play it?
Hidden in a laboratory in Florida, men with no sense of shame or mercy finalized the assembly.
This was a 2-hour project. This was do a rudimentary mix, send it to the radio station. It was as simple as that.
Chaos soon descends upon a helpless population. The central governing authorities of the earth are themselves concerned.
I would like to demonstrate for you.
Thank you for watching. It'll be that Sequential Geek. Seventh Heaven.
Would you like to see it again?
The military stands helpless for this weapon of mass destruction.
Well, I was a boy and girl. This man.
A holy war against the United States government because it is unjust, criminal, and tyrannical.
He didn't mention Hollywood or Madonna or drugs or alcohol or homosexuality or feminism or any kind of cultural issue as being part of his critique of the United States. It was an arrow on the diatribe against US foreign policy in the Muslim world.
What are your future plans?
You'll see them and hear about them in the media, God willing.
After the interview,
Affairs are going to take a back seat to affairs much closer.
I remember my first day of my